everyone, it's Hailey, and today is Bookmas Day 20, so I'm going to be doing an end of the year Q&A. So yesterday was Bookmas Day 19, and for that I tier ranked all of my 2020 reads, so I will link that down below if you guys wanted to check it out, as well as the entire Bookmas playlist, so you can get caught up if you have missed any videos. I've never done a Q&A for Bookmas before, but I thought it seemed like a good idea and something fun because I can kind of talk about some not necessarily bookish things. There are still like bookish questions here, obviously, that I'm answering, but I thought it would be fun to kind of switch it up a little bit. So on Instagram, I asked you guys if you had any questions pertaining to the end of the year, and you guys had some really great questions, so let's just get into answering them. So the first question is, how is your French learning going? I feel like it's going pretty well. I'm not very confident with languages because I've only ever been able to speak one. I never did well in French in school because I didn't have the best teachers for it, to be honest, so I almost failed when I got to high school and was doing French, so I definitely don't have the confidence there. I will like probably never speak it in a video, but I am still trying. Like, I'm still working on it every single day. I do a little bit. I haven't had the time to dedicate it to it that I would like to, but I do think it's like an enjoyable thing for me to do, although it kind of stresses me out because I'm not great at it, but it's something like different. I've never tried learning a language before, so it's definitely a unique experience, and I think to be able to speak two languages is something that I would eventually like to do, and hopefully I will be able to. Like, my boyfriend will help me because he does, like, that's his native language, but right now it's just been super busy, so I've been doing most of it on my own, and I think that's where I'm like nervous about it. Next is your best memories from 2020. So I really love this question actually because I feel like 2020 has been such a difficult year for a number of reasons, so it can be so easy to focus on the negative things, and especially because like I haven't been able to do a lot this year, so it's kind of, you know, it's easy to focus on the bad things that have happened. But I would say that my best memories, one would be getting Charlie. Like, that all happened so quickly, literally right after Christmas. What happened was I kind of just ended up looking for a dog unexpectedly, and then Charlie was like the last puppy left, so it just kind of ended up working out. We went and met him, and his personality was totally perfect for us, so literally the next day we had him home. So like literally everything happened so quickly. But also moving in was a lovely experience. It had kind of been like a long time coming, but it was really nice to move in. I've been having a great time living here with my boyfriend, so definitely like different to not live at my parents' house, but it's been nice to be out on my own and to be with my boyfriend. Also, my favorite memory would be with my boyfriend, so we kind of took a mini staycation, like a COVID safe vacation, and it was just so nice to be able to get away because we had never really been able to do that before, and that was such a nice relaxing trip, and I would like to go again. Next is, if you had to sell all of your books and could only keep 5, which 5 would it be? So Alice in Wonderland, The Book Thief, and then the other 3, I don't know, The Nightingale, and then what would the other 2 be? I don't know. I mean, I want to say Lovely War because it's like fresh in my mind, but I'm like blanking on all the books that I love right now, like my favorite books. Can I count a cookbook? Because I would keep Half-Baked Harvest super simple because that cookbook is my entire life. I adore it. So sure, let's do a cookbook in there. Let's throw it in there because I just can't pick between my babies. Like I can't. I think actually I'll go with The Hate U Give for the 5th one because that's such a powerful read that I think I definitely would have to keep and want to reread. Next is a new hobby or passion that you picked up this year. So a new hobby is learning French. Also, I feel like I've gotten more into cooking, but that was kind of more like last year that I started doing that. Something that I've started getting more dedicated to, I would say, is weight training. So I hate cardio, but like I want to work on getting healthier, work on improving myself, and I don't mind weightlifting. I enjoy weightlifting actually. It's like, it kind of depends on the day, but I like going to the gym and improving myself and knowing that I'm doing something to better myself. So that's definitely something that I've started getting more into, like planning my own workouts and everything. Also, just honestly, like collecting workout clothes has also been a nice fun hobby for me that I really didn't need, but alas, it has been happening. My favorite part about Christmas, apart from books and Bookmas. So my favorite part about Christmas would definitely be the time that I get to spend with my family. It's usually my favorite time because it's the only time that both of my sisters are home again, so it's kind of like when we were kids, everyone's at home. Obviously that's not going to happen this year, unfortunately, but it's truly like just the time spent with family. I love the festive season and how everyone comes together, and just like the joy of the season means a lot to me. Which genre did I read the most this year, and which genre did I read the least this year? I think that the genre that I read the most, I probably read contemporary the most, to be honest, but it also feels like historical fiction is up there because I feel like I hadn't read many historical fictions in a while. I kind of fell out of reading the genre for whatever reason, but I started to gravitate toward it a lot this year, which was really nice because I found so many new favorites. And contemporary, I think, though, I picked up a little bit more, but my least read genre would probably be fantasy because I kept on trying to get back into it, but it wasn't until later in the year in fall that I really started to read it. So definitely fantasy is my least read, although some years it's definitely been my most, but this year that was not the case. Which genre do you hope to read the most of in 2021? So I don't think there's necessarily one that I hope to read the most of. I definitely hope to keep up with reading more historical fiction because there are so many that I would like to get to, and it is something that clearly I love a lot. Like, I'm pretty sure on most of my like favorites of the year lists, historical fiction has been at the top. I don't know if that's just like me making that up, but I feel like generally a lot of my favorite books are historical fiction. I don't know why. I'm interested in history, but I would like to make an effort to read more fantasy. I have so many on my TBR since I really hadn't been gravitating toward it a lot. Like, I didn't read my first one until fall, so that's saying a lot, but there are a lot that I've had for years now that I just haven't picked up because of that, because we've been in a struggle relationship, but now that we're getting back to it, I want to take advantage of that and try to read more of that next year. Which book made you feel understood and comforted this year? I don't know if any book made me feel understood. I would say a book that brought me comfort. I feel like I want to go with Cemetery Boys by Aiden Thomas. Something about that story, even though it was like really sad and hard to read because it was heartbreaking, it also was super beautiful at the same time. So something about it just brought me comfort, seeing these characters and their families and that beautiful love story, and I don't know, like the self-discovery aspect of it, I guess. But that also makes me think like Black Flamingo by Dean Atta. I loved following Michael from a young age as he's trying to find where he belongs. I feel like that was really relatable for me, and seeing him come into his own definitely brought me a lot of comfort too. What was the best month of the year and why? January, I would say. January, I will say, because we got Charlie and it was lovely, and also I was able to move in and everything was normal, and it was kind of before things changed a lot. So January was really lovely. Other than that, like, I feel like April was pretty good. I think April was fine because it seemed like it was gonna be a short-term thing, like what's been happening, so I was okay in April. I really threw myself into making videos, and yeah, after that it's kind of gone downhill, not gonna lie, but 2021 is coming and hopefully that will be better. What are you looking forward to in 2021, bookish and personal? I would say I'm looking forward to having a whole new set of books to read. Like, there are a lot of really great releases coming out next year that sound amazing. I also am looking forward to hopefully hearing back about my book, and hopefully that will be good. Personally, I'm looking forward to having a fresh start. I feel like this year has just been so much for like a number of reasons, but I think having a completely fresh start will be really nice. Being able to kind of work on myself a little bit more, I feel like that's something that I really want to try and accomplish next year. And I also am hoping to get really fit and strong, which I know sounds ridiculous, but like I said, I'm really into weight training, so I'm looking forward to having that new year to start. Obviously, like, I'm gonna start before that, but I don't know. There's something about a fresh start. That's why I always love the new year, because it just feels like a clean slate. What are your top 3 favorite books that released this year? So that's different than like my favorites list, because it would be of the books that released this year. So Felix Ever After by Case and Calendar, I think is so beautiful. Definitely worth a read and worth all the hype that it gets. I'm trying to think of what else came out this year, but like, I don't know. I feel like I'm blanking. I need to check my favorites list actually for this past year because I can't remember what was on my favorites list. This is what happens when you film like a million videos in a row. Okay, so Felix Ever After, Beach Read by Emily Henry. That one is just such a beautiful like literary romance. I super loved it. And then, I mean, I already talked about The Black Flamingo and Cemetery Boys, so next I will go to The King of Crows by Libba Bray, which is the finale of the Diviner series, and I did really love that one. But I feel like I read so many new releases this year, but I also feel simultaneously like I didn't get to any, which is tragic. If there was one trope you came across in all of the books you read this year, what would it be? I feel like I come across enemies to lovers often, and I'm not a huge fan of that trope, but I think a lot of people are. That's a lot of people's favorites, so I think that's why it comes up so often. But honestly, I would say that definitely is the one that I came across the most. Like Get a Life, Chloe Brown, it was in that, it's in Tweet Cute, it's in literally so many of the books that I've read this year across different, like, not just adult romance, it's in fantasies, it's in like YA, it's in a little bit of everything. And I have mixed feelings on it because I feel like when it's done right, I'm okay with it. I mean, not even done right, but done to my personal taste. What I hate about it is a lot of times the enemies part, it's never developed beyond that, or I don't believe in the foundation of the enemies portion of it. It just seems really superfluous and seems like it's just added in so then it can be enemies to lovers. It doesn't seem like they actually don't like each other. It's just kind of like a thing so then you can get that like angst, I guess. So I don't know, that's where I struggle with it, but it is something that I know a lot of people love, so I'm fine with reading it too. Do you go into the year with a goal to read a certain number of books? I do personally, so I love having a Goodreads goal just to challenge myself. It is absolutely just about me. I will like do it so I know it's something that I can attain. Like this past year I set the goal to read 100 books. I wasn't sure if I would be able to do that, but I was able to do it, largely thanks to graphic novels, actually like entirely thanks to graphic novels. So it's just something I use to try and challenge and push myself to read more because I know that it's something I can do. So it's something I want to prioritize, which is why I try and do that. So I also will try and set a page number goal every day. I will aim for 100 pages, but that doesn't always happen. So if that doesn't, then I will go with 50. And it is like 100 books isn't that bad. It's like 3 books a week. So I know that's something that I can accomplish if I do set my mind to it. So that's why I like having a goal just for me. It's just for fun. What was the weirdest book that you've read this year? I feel like Wolf by Wolf was super weird because the concept is really weird to it, but I think overall the weirdest book was My Calamity Jane by the Lady Janies because it's like a mix of Western and, I mean, weird is kind of what they specialize in, but it's a mix of Western and werewolf hunting. So that's definitely an interesting combination, but also Coraline, which I don't want to talk about it anymore, but yes, that would be the weirdest book that I read this year, probably would be Coraline out of all of them. Oh my god, that book was horrifying. I still hate it. Favorite debut author of 2020? Ooh, this one's kind of hard because I feel like there were so many great ones. Like Aiden Thomas is a debut. Caitlin Bayron's was a debut. Like Cinderella is Dead, that one. There were a lot of great ones. Bethany C. Morrow. It was a great year for debuts. I know I just talked about it, but I am actually going to go with Aiden Thomas because I think that their debut was so fantastic. Like they came out on such a high note and I can't wait to see what they're going to come out with next as well. But there's definitely like a lot of runner-ups. There's some really good ones. Emma Lord, Tweet Cute, that one was a debut. Abigail Hing Wen with Love Boat Taipei, that one's a debut. Like I have a bunch of books next to me, that's why I'm looking here, but so many great debuts. So hopefully 2021 will be another great one of more from these debuts from this year, but also some new debuts. Did quarantine make you read more or less? This is an interesting question. So in the beginning, I think it made me read less because I just kept on getting distracted. So whenever I was trying to read, my mind would wander and just my anxiety would start spiraling. But then I kind of threw myself into my work and making videos, and I was trying to get ahead on videos mostly because I was like, my roots are gonna start showing. So then I was like, let's film a bunch, but it was also a distraction from everything. Now, it did start to make me read more once it hit but I feel like once we got to spring, I started, well, like later in spring, I started reading more. I don't know the correlation there, but all of a sudden I just was very motivated to start picking up books, and I think I've kept up the momentum since then. Kind of fallen off of it a little bit in November and December just because of Bookmas, like it's busy, which is fine, but I was able to definitely like read quite a bit in a lot of the months in the latter half of the year, which I'm super excited about. So I think at first, no, but now, yes, it has helped me to read some more. Although the thing with quarantine is it really hasn't changed all that much for me. The only difference was like I couldn't go to the gym and couldn't go shopping and like couldn't get my hair done, like different things like that. But I've been working at home for a year now as of October. I've been self-employed and working from home on my YouTube channel and on my writing. So I've always had that. It didn't really change a ton for me. It did still obviously change some things, but not as much as a lot of other people have gone through. So I was really lucky in that regard, but I feel like, I mean, I did still have some more free time, so it did make me read a bit more. What was your favorite book of the year, or top 5 if you can't decide? So this is something that I obviously did a whole video on Bookmas Day 6. My favorite book of the year was Lovely War by Julie Berry. I have quite a few of the questions that you guys asked. I have specific videos for, or specific videos coming out, so you guys can check out that for Bookmas, but I did want to mention that Lovely War, definitely my favorite book of the year, and I will have a link down below for the Bookmas playlist if you wanted to see if there was a question that you had that I didn't answer, and see if there's a video for it, but it might be upcoming as well. Have you played, or are you going to play, the new Sims 4 pack that just came out? I am really excited for it. So Snowy Escape, I believe is what it's called. It's like this Japanese inspired town, which is so exciting, and it is a mountain town too, so there's skiing and everything, there's hiking. It's so nice to have a different world. I think it looks amazing. I've been watching some reviews on it too, and it looks like it's going to be really great. So I will definitely try and play it. Like, I've really wanted to play Sims because my new computer, it has like a 5K screen, so Sims looks beautiful on it. And I definitely want to play it, but I also use so much CC and mods that I don't want to like bog down my computer, which is why I kind of haven't yet. I also haven't had the time, but I definitely do want to check out this expansion pack. Or is it a game pack? No, I think it's an expansion pack. I can't even remember, but it looks so fun, so I'm really excited for it. Do you know what your next writing project is going to be? Yes, I do. I'm just trying to have the time to do it. So in January, I think I'm going to go down to 2 videos a week. I don't think I'm going to be doing reading vlogs anymore, maybe. I'm not sure what the plan is, but I might try and go down to 2 videos a week just because 3 ends up being a lot. We'll see. Nothing is concrete yet, but I do want to try and have more time to prioritize my writing. So I do have a plan for a rom-com project. It involves fake dating. I'm really excited about it and diving more into it. So I think it's going to be a lot of fun. Like, I'm really excited to plan more of it and everything and actually get into writing it. Do you think that Goodreads reading challenge puts people under pressure to read? I think it can. Like, the thing with that is, for me, it's just about me. If I'm not like attaining my goal and I'm feeling way too much pressure, I'll just lower the number of books, because there's no one who is going to hold you accountable for it, or like be like, you're not reading. Like, I just like having it as a fun little thing to encourage me to read. However, I do see how, like, seeing how other people are going with their goals, seeing how many books they're trying to read, like some people are be like 250 books a year, but I'm like, what? So I get how that would put pressure on you, because even for me, I'm like, I should be reading more. Like, these people are reading 250 books, but what I'm not thinking of is that they might be really, really fast readers, obviously, like everyone has their own reading pace, but also their situation might be different. They might have the opportunity and the time to read more. So I would say, if it's like, just try and ignore it. But also, if you think it's going to put pressure on you to set a goal for yourself, then just don't do it. It's totally fine. No one's forcing you to. It's just a fun little additional feature. Is there anything for your videos you plan on doing differently next year? Now, like I said, I might do less of them just because I've been doing a lot and it does take a lot of time. We'll see. I think I also, like, I do want to try and improve them all the time, and I think I'm kind of at a point with my channel where I'm like, I don't really know what to do next. So I think I want to try and do some more in different things. I'm just not exactly sure what that is going to look like yet. So I'm not sure if I want to keep the vlogs and do just like one other video that's just a different topic, or if I want to do 2 videos that are just like different topics. I don't know if that will actually make sense to you, but I'll probably figure that out early in the year, maybe not in January because I might still be recovering from Bookmas. But if you guys have any ideas or anything you'd like to see from my channel, I'm always open to suggestions, so please leave it down below. Are there books that you gave to someone as a Christmas gift this year? I do generally give books to people. The only books that I've given this year, honestly, are cookbooks because I constantly am recommending Half-Baked Harvest recipes, and my sister only had the one. She had the super simple cookbook, so I hope she's not watching this video. Like, she's almost definitely not, but watch, this is like the one that she will. But I got her the her original cookbook because she didn't have that one yet, and both of them are so good. Chef's kiss, amazing. Other than that, I got my dad the new John Grisham because he enjoys John Grisham a lot. That was actually for his birthday though, so I don't think I've really gotten any books for anyone as a gift. Rate your overall reading year on a scale from 1 to 10. Interesting. I feel like I'm going to go with a 7. I'm torn between like a 6 and a 7, but I think a 7 is solid. I had a lot of really great books that I read this year. There were some months where I read like a ton of books that I loved. Most of my books, I would say, fell within the 3.5 to 4 star range, which is awesome. It's definitely been better than past reading years, and I feel like my most recent past reading years, it has been a lot better than that. So that might even be harsh, maybe an 8. I feel like it was just a really solid year. Like, nothing completely disappointed me, nothing I super hated. Obviously there are some things that I didn't love, but nothing that I was like, this is the most horrible thing that happened to me, except for Coraline actually, but you know. Has your taste in books changed this year? I feel like it's always evolving. I think I've started to get back into fantasy, which is really nice, but I think for the most part, I've pretty much been reading like similar things to what I normally would. I think maybe I'm like learning more of the tropes that I don't like and what does work for me, but I think overall it's like, I'm pretty boring. I pretty much like to read the same things all the time, but like obviously different books. I don't know. Favorite recipe you cooked this year? Oh, okay. So I have made so many. It's gonna be a Half-Baked Harvest one because that's all I make. But I feel like I started like really making her recipes just this year. So she has a 15-minute garlic butter ramen, which is so amazing. Also a French onion pasta bake, which was really good. Oh my gosh, her stuff is so good. I don't even know which one to pick. Oh, actually, okay, this one's actually a Chrissy Teigen recipe, but it is her pad thai, but it's not just pad thai. It's a, why can't I think of it? A bacon and egg pad thai, I feel like is what it's called. But that is so amazing. I've made it so many times this year. It is delicious. Like, now I'm really craving it and I'm gonna have to make that soon. But oh my god, that is really, really good. But also, honestly, any of the Half-Baked Harvest recipes that I've made, because her stuff is so incredible. I have been let down like not very many times. There's very few recipes that I haven't liked. Anything that I haven't liked, I've just been like, I wouldn't make it again. It's nothing that I was like, this is disgusting. Do you regret reading anything except for Coraline? So obviously Coraline would be my answer for that. I think other than that, the one book that I regret reading would probably be The Betrothed by Kira Cass, because it was such a letdown for me. But I mean, what are you gonna do? At least now I know, so I don't like fully regret reading it. So those were all of the questions from you guys. I hope that this gave you a little insight to my year and what is going to happen going forward. I hope you guys enjoyed it. I really like doing Q&As. I think they're a lot of fun. So thank you to everyone who asked a question. If you ever want to participate in those things, I often ask those things on Instagram in my stories, so you can follow me there. It's just at Hailey in Bookland. But tomorrow will be Bookmas Day 21, so it is a reading vlog with Christmas books. That's exciting. But don't forget to subscribe so you won't miss that, as well as any of the other videos that I will be putting out for the entire month of December. There will be a video every single day, so you can also click that notification bell so you won't miss any of those. But thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in my next video tomorrow. Bye!